Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I'm, as always, Alex, and I'm joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. Alex's microphone is a little weird, and that's okay because we're a little weird. And we've been doing this podcast for 250 episodes. And if you expected some type of improvement in equipment over that time, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Yeah, happy 250th episode, Alex. It's been a pleasure to do this for all these years. Um, for once, I am going to make a political statement and say, fuck ICE,
Oh, yeah.
fuck ICE, and free Gaza.
Oh, yeah. Times two.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the intro. I mean, there's a lot of of very not important stuff to talk about this week. Obviously, there is a few important things to talk about, but it's a very light week, so it's kind of funny that we're running episode 250 and there's nothing, nothing
Well,
to really
we
nothing
could
great to be like,
definitely,
you know what I mean?
yeah, well, we could drag Stardom enough to get people riled up, you know?
That's what I mean. Is that it's like all I have to say is is express disappointment about there being nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Like the lack of things to talk about is the thing to talk about, and that's very disappointing. Um, but
Yeah.
we'll talk about it.
All right. Well, head on over to the 5-star-network.com for all of the latest articles and podcasts from the wonderful world of pro wrestling. And head on over to the 5-Star Network YouTube channel, which is where this, as well as shows like Actress Stage, go up, as there's also No Limit Wrestling, which you guys will be recording this week for
Yes.
Mako Satomura, finally.
Yes, finally. Someone let me out of my cage. Yeah, no, we're recording that hopefully Friday. Um, I have a lot of matches to watch in anticipation for that over the next 3 days. Jesus, that's soon. Um, yeah, it'll be fun. Um, obviously, we have an Anai thing in the works, but we haven't really figured out anything for that yet. But we'll get to that when we get to that. And from there, we'll probably go back to business as usual. Probably pick a show of some type. I've had this Michinoku Pro DVD that I bought a year ago on my desk this entire time, and I feel like either I should watch this on a stream, like a watch along, or we should review it for No Limit. So I think this Michinoku Pro is the first Keiji Muto match in Michinoku Pro. Like it was his first indie date, I think, uh, ever. So that's kind of the cool thing about it. So maybe we'll watch that at some point in the coming months. But yeah, we don't know what's planned after this Mako one and then the Nanai one. But keep your eyes peeled for that because it's a fun show, and Alex will probably be on it again soon. So, you know, it's
All
enticing
right.
enough, I hope.
Yeah, well, the promise of more me. Who wouldn't love that?
Yeah,
Um,
who wouldn't adore that?
so with that, it is time to get on to Stardom. We're going to start with Stardom because they ran Korakuen Hall, and that gives them precedent over Shinjuku FACE. We have news from Stardom. We're going to start with Suri defending the IWGP Women's Championship against Alex Windsor. That was the main event of the recent Eve show. It was a very good match. Suri retained as expected, and she is going to defend against Sari.
Yeah, I'm like a week behind on all of the Storm outside Storm stuff. I just watched May Sarah versus May Saruga the other night. That was also good. It was pretty good. There it you kind of want a bit more, I think, from it because they both have such creative minds. It felt like it was a bit half baked in that way. Like I felt like there could have been a lot more like um, innovative and just fun stuff. But it was a good match nonetheless. Uh, So yeah, you watched the Shuri match and I watched the Mei Suruga match because I'm based like that.
Well, I feel
You
like only
watched
one
the
of
British
those.
match. You watched the British match. In fact,
Well,
let me.
I, I'm pretty sure only one of those happened in the time frame of this show.
Yeah, it did.
I thought that the other
The
one
Mei
was
Suruga
like
one
two
was
weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, but it didn't
Yeah,
make air
see,
until
that's
like 2 days ago. So
yeah, that doesn't count. We don't count that. Otherwise, we'd have to watch like a bunch of month-old wave uploads.
apparently
Um,
Nanami, and I believe this. Apparently Nanami versus Suzuki was good, and judging by the New Blood show I watched, I 100% believe that because Nanami's just a beast, and I believe in her.
sure.
Mm.
Um, I don't know what to say about that, but
Well, we're gonna talk about her in a minute because
yeah. Also on the news is Stardom announced some of the card for the conversion, which is on the 21st, I want to say. Yeah, the 21st. So official now is a pre-show match. Waka Tsukiyama versus Yura Hime. Hanako versus Risa Sera, which is a callback to Risa Fella in Prominence.
yeah,
Because Risa Sera
Risa
is of
Farah,
course retiring.
Risa
Risa
Farah.
Farah, yeah, because Risa Sera is retiring in January, so you got a little union there. Amisori's return match is Amisori, Saki Kashima, Lady C, and Rani Yagami against the Hate unit of Sai Kamatani, Momo Watanabe, Konami, and Rina. Not at all what we expected Sai Kamatani, Momo Watanabe, or Konami to be doing on the show. But that's where we're at.
One of the
Future,
least interesting matches possible.
maybe.
I mean, I guess if Ami comes in and beats Sai Kamatani, I guess that's a direction.
That would rock. Yeah.
Like that would be interesting. I would be worried about it, uh, because Ami's been out for a year and yeah, like 11 months, and she was just kind of starting to figure it out right before she got hurt. So like it's kind of like a Koki situation, but probably a bit more concerning because she was out way longer. Um, and isn't a move spammer. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't have a
Yeah.
move that she can kind of lean on like Koki does. That's cool and she does well. So like funnily enough, the like most interesting path in for that match is still very scary and uncertain and might be bad. Um so that's lovely.
Very. We also have the Future of Stardom Championship. Hina defends against Rian. The Goddess of Stardom titles are on the line when Hana and Saida defend against Natsupoi and Shiori Ano. And the last match announced, and presumably the main event, is the IWGP Women's Championship. Shiori defending against Sari. There's some very obvious spots there to plug in key people. I mean, there's no Neo Genesis. There's no Mividi Loca. There is no BMI 2000 as of yet, or FWC. So they might just be waiting to see on availability there, and they might just do like a four-way tag if they have to. But I imagine they want to do some form of Suzu versus Kid on this show, and are maybe just waiting to see what they can do. Because I
Yeah,
don't
I
see
think
why you
I
wouldn't
think
announce that.
I think Suzu challenged Neo Genesis at the Corkin. Like I'm
She
pretty sure that is a
did.
thing that
They've
literally happened.
they've asked for a 4-on-4 unit battle for like 3 weeks now, and they just never book it. So
Hmm.
that's kind of where we're at there. It's fun. I don't think there's any other stuff. I know there's they announced the cards for the house shows, and they paired up BMI 2000. So I don't know if that means anything though. It's mostly just preview tags then for the rest of that. Um, that's all for the news, I believe, unless I'm missing something. So we can go on to the review for Stardom. Two shows to review this past week. The first was New Blood. I will get the number correct. New Blood 22.
153? Oh, that's attendance number. Yeah,
Um,
22.
yeah, they did
Why me?
153 Pete fans in that Tokyo Square Itabashi place, which is the weird new venue that everybody tried to run for a while and then went, yeah, this is kind of meh. And so it stopped running. And now this is the only show
They're
that's
like, we could
happening
fit
there.
like 5 people in here. Maybe we should just
Yeah,
do
and
something.
it's got like a standing thing as well. Like there's a part where there's no seats and it's all standing and it's very awkward. But we opened with maybe the best match of the show: Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara beating Emma Maishima and Kikyo Furusawa in 9 minutes. Aya pinned Emma with the Cherry Blossoms in Full Bloom combo in 9 minutes. It's very fun. A real interesting clash of wrestlers when you look at the kind of base style of everybody involved. Like, they all do different stuff. Kikyo does this like leg drop kick thing into a fantastic. And
Hmm? Oh, you
Sayaka Kurara hit this.
what did you
Of
what
course I
did she
did.
hit? Yeah.
The like leg drop kick into the ankle trap. I think it looks
Oh,
very good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
And then Sakakara hit this spear out of nowhere that was one of her best spears up to date. Like, she just kind of came out of nowhere and clobbered Emma Maishima with it, and it was fantastic. So yeah, everything they did was good in this one.
Yeah, I thought it was good enough. I I appreciate what Kikyo brings to the table, but she does, as I said after her debut match, kind of remind me of an early Miyu Amasaki, where it's a bit of a struggle to kind of like get her shit in. Um, but I thought she did well here, and I
Hmm.
obviously think Aya Sakura is one of the best in the company at this point. One of the best wrestlers that is consistently like notable, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah,
like perfect example, Momo Watanabe doesn't really do things. So even though she's one of the she's probably like top two wrestler in the company, um, you don't immediately think to her. I think that Aya Sakura is a real workhorse in the company, and somebody that like you know makes things better actively all the time. And this was one of those instances.
I agree. Yeah. Also, her and Aya just are like a fun tag for this brand.
You mean Sayaka?
Um, yes, yes, I do.
I was
But
talking
yeah,
about
no,
Aya.
like
I want to make sure I was
yeah,
talking
no,
about
I
Aya,
know.
not Sayaka.
Those two, they're a good
Yeah,
tag team for this brand, and I think Emma Mishima, as I've said a lot, she kind of just is
she fits.
work rate
Yeah.
tag wrestler, and it's very enjoyable. Um, our next match was Goda Asuka of Wave beating Yuria Hime in 8 minutes with a reverse splash. The result I wanted, because I like Asuka Goda, and it was a good match. Yuria is good at what she does, and obviously getting to work with Goda, who is able to work on top. I think she could just work underneath and do the leg drop stuff. She is still such an interesting wrestler, Yuria, because she started doing the big boots thing. She would like hold her by the hand and boot her, and also did the Stephanie Vacker knee slam move. And I was like, you're just throwing everything at the wall, and I, for one, respect it. I think she's such an interesting wrestler to watch.
I think I wouldn't say great, but she's great to watch. Like I
Yeah.
really enjoy watching her. I think she's quite good for her level of experience and her skill level generally. Um, yeah, like I really like what she brings to the table. I found myself like watching her matches and pretty consistently being like, yeah, Yuria did good there. Yeah, Yuria did
Hmm.
good there. Yeah, she she added to that match. That was solid. Like she's kind of like avoided the whole uh the rut that a lot of star rookies get into at some point. Um like I think after the first few weeks she kind of started to grow enough for me to be like, yeah, she does good enough. And this was an example of that. I thought she did quite well here. And yeah, Goat is really cool as well.
All right. We then went on to my pick for the worst match of the show. Debbie Cartel beat Akira Kuragane in 10 minutes with espresso. Debbie Cartel, as I told you all, is doing this heel thing in Japan, and it is very boring. She is a stomp kick wrestler. Um, is not 2003 WWE house shows though, so we need a little bit more than that, Debbie. Akira tried her best, but she was just
Her
working
best
with a
isn't even
very
really that great, is the problem.
well. No, it is, but there's only so much you can do with
Okay, her
a
best is
heel that's giving you nothing.
like all right. But you can't like there was a lot was needed for Debbie. And a lot was not given for Debbie.
No,
So it was yeah, it wasn't good.
no, she's not good. Keep her
Also 10
away.
minutes. Like you could have given
Yeah,
that to Yuria and Goto would have been fine. Like
Yeah.
this one definitely it lasted a bit longer than you would want.
All right. We then went on to Hina and Rani Agami beating Hanoka and Saran, and Azusi Inaba and Fukigen death in 14 minutes when Hina pinned Hanoka with the Gato clutch. Very long. There were some funny Fukigen death bits that were entertaining, but otherwise this was just kind of a standard tag, but definitely tagged a little bit, I would say.
Yeah, it was very long. I think that's about it. Hina was good. I thought Hina did good in the closing stretch. I liked it.
Hina
Hina,
is currently the MVP
Hanoka.
post Yokohama. It's very funny.
Yeah, Hina's just good. Like I think that's the thing. Like she's
Chicken
not
ass.
even like insane, but she's consistently like a
She's
solid
talking her
worker.
shit too. She's like, "Hey,
Yeah,
I'm working harder. I'm better. I'm
yeah.
just better." It's very fun. Nanami Hatano beat Rian in 11 and a half minutes with a diving body press. There was a point early in the match where Nanami had Rian in a Boston Crab for literally 2 minutes. And I wanted to claw my hair out, but then it got good because I do
Yeah, I
like
was gonna say,
Rian and I do like Nanami, but that Boston Crab was so long.
brother, w- I don't know how you feel about the Rion versus Akira Kuragane match, but that's where I had problems with the submission work. This I really liked. I thought Nanami was a real badass, really beating the fuck out of Rion. That's awesome. I was here for it. Um, and Rion was good as the babyface underdog type of thing. Because yeah, Nanami was really fucking kind of burning a hole through her chest with like the forearms and shit. So I quite like this. I thought this was the best match of the show.
Wow,
Um, yeah, I like Nanami really had me thinking Rion was a great worker.
she is. Okay, well, not great, but she's good. I do think Rihanna's good. Um, our main event was for the New Blood Tag Championship. Waka Tsukiyama and Hanako defended against Himiko and Yuma Makoto. Waka pinned Yuma Makoto in 12 minutes with the smelt. Um, there was some good stuff. Waka continues to be randomly the MVP of New Blood. Every time they put the tag titles on the line, she shows up. And there was some good stuff with her and Yuma down the stretch. I don't think Yuma is a great wrestler, so Waka really was getting some of the best stuff out of her. And they kind of carried the finishing stretch and a lot of the more interesting stuff throughout the body as well.
Yeah, no, I thought it was all right. Yeah, I thought Himiko did well as well. I thought Himiko looked pretty good.
Yeah, she's
Um,
solid.
I'm I'm always not shocked, and that sounds this might sound mean. I'm always shocked when I remember like, oh yeah, she's really competent. She's a good worker, good hand. You know,
Mhm.
she, I don't know. I always expect the worst out of like Diana rookies, and I forget that Diana kind of fucking rules at training people. So, yeah, I'm always kind of like pleasantly shocked by wrestlers like Himiko, who's quite good.
Yes. And afterwards, Yuria Hime actually challenged for the New Blood tag titles, but she didn't reveal who her partner is. So that's kind of intriguing.
It will
Um,
be Ida. Um,
you think?
I feel like that. I think that's what makes the most sense.
Saya Ida?
Um, yeah, I think where they're going with the New Blood tag titles now are more so like they're leaning into the rule of like a rookie and their parent type of thing, and their older sister. Uh, Even though Waka feels like she's still a rookie, she's been wrestling for like 6 years.
Yeah.
Not literally, she's been wrestling for I think four. And that's she's kind of Hanako's leading hand. So I feel like that's probably what they're going to keep going for. And I think Ida and Yuria make sense there. I'm expecting them to challenge after Ida loses the actual tag belts.
Interesting. So
Not
you
right
think
after, but
Wayano are gonna get the
yeah,
goddess?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I could see it that, or I could see them waiting for one of the other rookies to come back and like they pair together, kind of like Aya and Carrara did. You could
Potentially.
do, Yuria with Ane. I think that would fit. Um, she could maybe ask Emma Mishima to team with her, and they lose, and then she's like, "You stink." Um, yeah, I think there's directions they could go with it. I don't think it's definitely going to be somebody who can help her win the belts. I think it could just be somebody in her class that she wants to try and team with.
That's also
Yeah, we'll have to
possible.
wait and see. I don't know when the next New Blood is, so we'll
Actually,
probably
me
be waiting a little bit. It would be good if we had an idea. Oh, it's on the 4th of July. Wow.
Oh wow, America's birthday.
Hell yeah.
Yuri Himu winning the tag belts for America. Hell yeah.
You're damn right. Now, we then had on June 8th, Stardom in Korakuen 2025. They did 1,405 people for this Korakuen, and at this point,
Why?
I shrugged my shoulders and threw my hands up. They gave away nothing. The main event
Not
of
to
this was a 4-on-4 tag match. No titles, no big stories, nothing, and they did
a certain
1,400 people.
a certain unnamed source who watched this show live texted me right after it was over and was like, I literally feel completely unmoved after having that Corkin show happen, and it drew more than most like most Stardom Corkins ever. That's not hard, but you get my point. Like like it drew an absurd amount of people and nothing happened.
We've reached a really weird point because obviously Marigold at Yoyogi drew ridiculous. This drew ridiculous, and the Marigold Korakuen next week is apparently sold out already. And I'm just like, how did this happen? When did this many people get interested in Joshi? I have no idea. But these companies are just selling tickets like crazy with the, quite minimal cards in some cases. So yeah, it's good for Stardom. I mean, if you can get this many people in the door to do nothing, then you're golden. And Yoyogi is selling really, really well. Like they are going to do a great number for the conversion, despite all of the fans, in terms of English speaking fans, kind of being like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? What's the build for this meant to be?" But they're gonna draw well, and I don't get it. I don't get how Marigold is doing it, and it confuses me, but it's great. So thumbs up, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Long may it last. If
Mm.
so long as everybody stays motivated and doing good, that's all we need.
They
We don't
aren't.
need solo.
That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, we are slightly in solo Sokoa, like main eventer of SmackDown era right now, where it's like, oh, you can get away with that. All right, cool, sure.
At least he's funny.
He is. He's very funny.
Hilarious
Soko.
guy.
Yeah.
He's taking it all.
So the show opened with number one contenders match for the future
Oh,
of
wait.
Stardom title.
I watched Una versus Emma.
Okay.
Good.
It's a
It was good.
pre-show match, so we don't, those are non-canon.
It was
bits,
on.
but
It was
good.
on the thing though.
That's true.
So
That
like
is true.
I just thought it was I just thought it was a match. Like it was. It was
I
just there.
remembered.
Yeah, it
'Cause
was.
I remembered. I was like, no, that's not a real match.
Which is crazy because it was a good match and one of the more interesting matches because Young Kozen were in Emma's corner and Unima was pissed. She's like, "What the fuck, guys?
Ooh,
we're
interesting.
teammates." I mean, it was a bit like it was a joke, but
Yeah, of course.
I thought it was like a funny little thing was Unimon wailing on Emma and then realizing, wait, why the fuck are y'all over there? What the fuck? Like she just turns around, starts scolding them. It was a good bit, but yeah, it was a good match overall.
So the number one contenders match for the future belt, Rian beat Akira Kuragane with a move called Hanaguruma in 9.5 minutes. I don't even think I could explain it to most people. You would just have to watch it. She gets on their back, twists them into a neck bump, and then turns it into a cradle for a pin. It is very unique. And this kind of caps off one of the few stories that we've actually seen them tell, because Akira had a cork and pinned Rian, and I remember being like, holy shit, she pinned one of her seniors. And then Rian went to Cosmic Angels and was like, hey, I want to train and get better. And so they put her with Kuro Ito, and they clipped some stuff of Rian training with Kuro Ito. And then after that training, she wins and beats Akira. I think that's a really well done little story that you should be doing with your undercard wrestlers. Like, it's very easy stuff, and it sets up Rian for a well-built title match with Hina. So I quite liked that this happened and the way it did, and that Rian got the win. Even if I do prefer Akira, I think she's just such an charismatic, aggressive wrestler, and I thought she did really well here as like the dominant performer, and let Rian kind of pick her spots to be the babyface. But yeah, Rian's story I thought was well told. It got the crowd behind her. The crowd is definitely really into Rian, so I think they did a good job there.
Yeah, but the match was bad.
No, it wasn't bad.
The match was bad. The match was
Nah,
not good.
it wasn't bad.
I watched it and I was so disappointed in both Rihanna and Akira. Um,
You leave Akira alone.
I like Akira. I want Akira to be good, but she isn't yet. And Rihanna, everybody else wants her to be good, and I don't think she is yet. I think she's serviceable sometimes. This is not one of those times. I felt like they were in a sleeper hold for like most of the match, and I remembered, oh yeah, they don't have any other moves to do. That's why we're here. And so I was just like this was it was 10 minutes. Like I was just like, this is kind of hell. Like I was watching this. I watched the first couple minutes. I was like, okay, this is gonna have a hard time kind of like pushing past like very middle of the road, perfectly acceptable. It's gonna have a hard time getting to like a good solid, match because neither of them are particularly experienced in this sort of, you know, more high stakes singles match type of thing. And it didn't. In fact, it kind of like dipped below that because it felt like nothing was happening. Like if they had just like I don't know, it just did not work for me. I thought it was pretty weak. Um,
Shame.
Weakest match on the card, I would say,
Oof.
which is
Ooh, that's
yeah.
harsh. That's
There were
harsh. That
there were two
there
other
was
matches that were
definitely a
close.
worse match.
There were two matches that were close, but I think this was pretty firmly my least favorite match on the card. Um,
Disgraceful. Very disappointed in you.
it wasn't good. Like I don't.
It wasn't that
You
bad.
can't. You.
It's not that bad.
I didn't think it was that bad. Like I've seen worse, obviously.
Yeah, we watched
Gifu.
Ryoka Sakamura, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gifu. The Gifu incident is a whole different fucking situation. This is not an
yeah.
incident. It was just not good. And I was especially because everybody's like, Rion did it, fucking let's go, Rion, Rion did it. And I was like, okay, I was like, let's see. I watched the Nanami match. I was like, okay, Rion has something, and then this just brought me down to
All right,
earth.
not too much on my Uso. All right, don't be
On
doing
your
this.
Uso,
Yeah, she's Yeet
your
Uso, isn't she?
your
That's her
brother.
thing now. She's Yeet Uso. Listen, I don't know, man. I don't know what it means. Do you really think
How
I
do
know
you
what it
not know
means?
what
I am
Uso means? They're brothers. That was
so yeah. I don't know.
it means.
Anyway, our next match: Saki Kashima, Hina, Naoki Inaba, and Kyoko Katatsu beat Hazuki Koguma, Yuri Hime, and Kikyo Furusawa. Moka Inaba pinned Furusawa in just under 12 minutes. No, she didn't. She submitted her with an ankle lock. FWC are so unbelievably checked out that Koguma is doing a I'm wearing a bear onesie bit for the entire match, but they still randomly will pull out one of the coolest tag sequences on the entire show, which is
Yeah,
incredible. Like they will just flip the switch for 30 seconds and
they're
be
still the
the most
best tag team in the
entertaining tag
company.
team.
They just,
Yeah.
like I don't know. Yeah, I watched this match with my niece who
Oh,
came by and sat with me on the couch and watched it.
fun.
She said Yuri Hime, she pointed to her and said she looks like a pretty ballerina. Um,
Okay.
I agree. And she said Koguma is wearing a bear costume. I said, yes, that is true. She's like, wait, that's a jacket. I was like, yeah, it's a it's a onesie. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And yeah, she was. Those two
All right.
were particularly interesting to her, and they're particularly interesting to me. I like those two as well. But yeah, the match was a God's Eye match.
Yeah, and I thought Kyoka looked very rusty. She's usually somebody
Yeah,
you can rely on in these, but I didn't think she was very good in this one.
yeah.
So it was just kind of
Smoka and Hina on their side were serviceable enough. Like they kind of carried the
yeah,
load when necessary, especially Tomoka in this instance. But yeah, if you're not checked out in this match, you're a rookie, and if you're not a rookie, you are essentially a rookie. And if you're not that, you're Saki Kashima, who is like not even checked out. Like her gimmick is being checked out.
yeah.
Like it's
She's not on that bullshit no more.
like she
She was
she she
briefly.
tagged out. Like
Yes.
her high spot is tagging out. You know what I mean? So it's like, what are we? It was
All
fine.
right. Yeah. Our next match is Suzuki beating Lady C and Izuzu Inaba in a three-way match. Suzu pinned Lady C in 6 minutes with a tequila shot. Just kind of there to give Suzu a win because they couldn't book Aoki and Yamashita on this show.
Yeah,
So
it was
I
fine.
think that was it. Natsuko Tora and Waka beat Waka Tsukiyama and Hanako in 10 minutes when Tora pinned Waka with a diving body press. Oh gosh. With how often they're pairing off BMI 2000, maybe they're building them up for a tag title match because they're kind of soloing it on the tour.
They're
And
they're a
they're the only
great
hate members not booked.
V1. They're a great V1 for Soriano and Natsupoi,
I
or
agree.
they are a good stat pad for Hanan and Ida. I mean, they could even beat Hanan and Ida. Honestly,
That's
like
true.
that wouldn't be shocking. Um, so yeah, they work either way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Ruaka and Natsuko can easily challenge and win against Wingori, or challenge and lose against Tom and Jerry, or lose to like it works definitely.
Yeah.
Didn't think this match was good. Uh, this the reason I brought up Emma versus Unimon is I needed to let people know that there was a good match before the Stars versus Cosmic Angels match. Without that, ooh, stinky poo poo.
Uh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, this wasn't amazing.
it wasn't. It,
I like Natsuko's hair. Pink, the dyed pink. Short
yeah,
hair. Nice.
yeah. I mean, kind of Kevin Blackwood ish. Funnily enough. I
Don't
think he
compare
did
her to
cyan.
Kevin
Maybe I
Blackwood.
think he did cyan. I don't remember if he did pink. Who did pink? Was that like an
I,
Eminem thing? Somebody did pink.
I
I
have
don't know. It
no
doesn't matter.
idea.
A pink buzz cut. Like it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Um, yeah. I mean, I like BMI 2000, but I just don't think this match was a good showcase for them. Just because
Yeah.
you know
Well, that's all
it
right.
happens.
We then went on to Natsupoi, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Kurara beating Sai Ida, Hanan, and Momo Kogo. Natsupoi beat Ida with a Ferial gift in 14 minutes.
Really
Very
good.
good match. The highlight was Natsupoi and Ida just
Yeah.
going at it. The two little ones being feisty. It was very good.
Yeah. Ida fucking rules, man. I mean,
She does.
Natsuko is also very very good. Um, but Ida really just she sends it every time, and I always appreciate for it.
Hmm.
Um,
Ferrara hit maybe her best spear ever
you
in
keep
this on
saying
this
that.
show. I like she just put so much stink on it, and I've never seen her put that much stink on it. She just collided with whoever it was she hit. Was it Ida? I think it was Ida. She just like jumped into it. I was like, hell yeah, you go, girl. So yeah, I thought that was Carrara's best spear ever. She clocked her with it.
Keep saying that. Like, and sometimes I was like, I don't even remember. I don't even remember the
Well,
spear
I
that she
didn't
did.
I didn't say the new blood one was her best one, but she did
You
hit that one
literally
out of
did.
nowhere. No, she hit that one out of nowhere, and it was impressive. Like she just kind of came off screen and hit her with no build up. It was crazy. But this one was her best one for sure.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
It was after this match that
Yeah.
Natsupoi challenged for the tag titles because Suya Ano was not present for the show. I don't know why. She was probably booked for something. I don't really know.
Yeah. I quite like that match. I do want that to be known. I did like that match.
That's good. Sari beat Rani Yagami in 9 minutes with a double foot stomp. The Kyo Ito inspiration continues. I thought this was very, very good. Sari is excellent at working down. She's so smart
Yeah.
at kind of keeping a lot of stuff in her pocket. She didn't even do the Uranagi here. But you can tell she likes Rana and she likes Aya because I think she's given them both a lot more than she gave somebody like Eureka Oka. Like, I remember she wrestled Eureka Oka and just murdered her.
Yeah, but I also
But
think
like
she's gotten
Rana and
better
Aya, she gave them
at
loads.
this.
That she has, yes.
Like,
So I
I
like
think the Marigold run like really like reminded her how to beat the fuck out of undercard wrestlers.
to a degree, but I do think she still like particularly likes these two. I think she gave them even more than I've seen her recently, and I liked how Rana started the match by like jumping her
Same.
before she even took off her coat. Like we gave it an instant kind of bump of intensity. So like this was very very effective. It was exactly what you want. Sari just mercilessly beating Siri's friend and then getting confronted by Siri. Like it's simple stuff, but it works really well. And the match kind of built that intensity fairly well. So
Wait, yeah, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, it was good. I
The
really liked it. It
Siri,
was a great game.
the Siri thing was
Top three were
genuinely
good.
a surprise because she like was just in England on Friday, and this was
Yeah,
on
that's why I was
Sunday.
like, wait, how did she get here? She wasn't even on the
Yeah,
car.
she
Like
got a big
I just thought about that. I was like, wait a minute.
she got a big reaction when she showed up to confront Seri, and I popped
Mm.
as well in my house. I was like, "Holy shit, Siri's here to defend her friend," um, and that was it. Very effective build for Sari versus Siri, which is looking like the main event of the conversion, and it's probably going to kick ass. So that's that. Our main event was Momo Watanabe, Sai Kamatani, Rina, and Konami of Hate beating Azumi, Starlight Kid, Mei Sarah, and Miyu Amasaki of Neo Genesis. Momo Watanabe pinned Azumi in her first match back from injury with a Peach Sunrise in 19 minutes. I'm going to go straight ahead of you. This was a great match. Hate, when they're firing, are such a fantastic group. And in this match, you have three of the stronger Hate wrestlers. We're not including Konami, but Rina is good. Sai Kamatani can be great, and Momo Watanabe is excellent. Momo and Azumi down the stretch throughout the match was fantastic. I thought
Mhm.
Kamatani and Kid looked amazing together. Like there was just so much good stuff happening in this. This was a great main event. Like if this happened on a pay per view, I wouldn't have been disappointed. It was that good.
Why do you gotta make me sound like the asshole, man?
Because you are.
It's like I was gonna say like this was really good, but like it wasn't fucking great. Like you're acting like this is
That was great.
the best
That finishing
Korakuen
stretch
match
alone,
in
put it up
weeks.
there.
I see the closing stretch was very good, and then I realized that I've seen it before a lot. Specifically, just with the box to the peach to the like. I was like, this has happened. This happened like 3 months ago. Um, which is fine. Like that's how matches work when you're in a company. You know, when like Azumi and Momo have been in a company together for 10 years. You know, like it's obviously gonna happen a few times. But uh, yeah, near the end, like the second half of the closing stretch, I was like, this just keeps happening. I got real deja vu there. And that's fine. Like I said, that's fine. And it was a very good match. I quite liked it. Um, I wouldn't go as far as to say great, but I did think it was a very good match, and I trust most of these wrestlers. You know, I mean, I really like Neo Genesis. Um,
Eight is
I would
great.
love it. You know,
2025.
hate is all right. You know, most of the time. Uh, I think they do their jobs well enough, even if I do think it's a bit tired for some people. Looking at you, Momo. Please do something else at some point. Uh, Yeah, like I thought it was a very good match, but it was very by the books for hate in this amalgamation. This lineup.
Okay.
That's a better word than amalgamation, I would say.
All
And
right.
also nothing happened. Like that was the theme of this Korkin is that just nothing happened.
Yeah, especially because in the post-match promo, they could have promo for two separate title shots and are booked for neither. Because Konami
They've
said we haven't forgot the artist belts, and Momo said I want the strong belt, and neither of
they've
those happened.
okay, Neo Genesis is involved in 3 matches, none of which are currently announced for the pay-per-view.
And one of which
Like,
cannot happen because Hate is booked.
yeah, 2 of which can't happen because Hate is booked.
Yes. Yeah, they're
So,
not doing Momo and Azumi either.
like, I'm sure this is just like, oh, like, and this, you know, I've seen this at least 7 times on Twitter already. Oh, they have a Sapporo show or a Sapporo date tour to
Next
worry about.
month.
And
They have
I was
one
like, that's
show
at
in
the
Sapporo next month, by the way.
that's yeah, like I'm not, you know I complain a lot, and I get it. But like what? Like that's not an excuse. I don't get it. Cause like yeah, the GP starts in a month and a half.
Hmm.
They have 2 Korkins. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have 2 Korkins in the Sapporo show left. And obviously conversion, but that's already booked basically. So like I would like to see something happen soon. You know, it's
Yeah,
so funny that I'm at the point where I'm just like, you know what, with Stardom, let's see a faction shakeup. We could use one. You know, half these factions are dead. Let's shake something up. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. I was like, why? Why wouldn't you like like why wouldn't you do that now? Why would you do that like most of the time that they do it, I'm just like, you don't really have to do it. Like I feel like we're hitting a stride with this faction. It'll be fine. And then they like do something crazy with it. I was like, you didn't have to do that. This is the one time where I was like, yeah, you should probably fuck some shit up. And they're just like, no, we're not going to do that. Please. Just I'm not even just talking about Momo here anymore. Like I'm like just do something. Please. Uh but yeah, I guess we gotta
yeah.
wait for the Sapporo show for stuff to happen.
I have no idea because why would
But even
you?
then it's like the 5 stars right after. So
Yeah,
that's a terrible day. It's literally like the week of the 5 star starting. Um Yeah,
the
no,
only thing
legitimately.
I can.
Less than a week later, the 5 star begins. So why would you wait to do any sort of like not even faction, just do anything interesting until 6 days before the 5 star starts? Like that's a terrible idea.
It is.
That's why the conversion is such a perfectly placed thing for shit to happen, for anything, for things of note to be going down. But Sari is the only thing of note happening on that show. Sari don't even work here. Like, like you know what? Like I feel like I'm losing my mind.
You're not. I've seen people giving out about this exact same thing. Um, no red or white belt match on the conversion. Saya has had 3 total defenses, I think, since December. Um,
Hmm.
so not great. And it is only one
Has
Sapporo
it
show
been
next
3?
instead of 2. She beat Suzu, I think, and
Suzu
then
and Tam,
Tam.
but Tam was only once.
Oh, and Carrara.
Fuck off, dude. It's crazy that match happened. Like that's still crazy to me. Yeah, that
Yeah.
did happen. Yeah,
So
3, yeah.
yeah, all I can like slightly picture is they're gonna do some of this unit stuff in Osaka too, later this month because for some reason they did the big artist match there last time, and then they have 2 Korakuens to fill next month. So I don't know if they're trying to use the Neo Genesis angle to fill 4 shows worth of stuff. But I don't really know. I've kind of I've kind of given up after thinking I had an idea of what they were going to do when Suzu challenged them to an all-out battle 3 weeks ago, and I was like, oh well, she's going to win the unit battle at Corkin and then challenge as a conversion. But no, that's not how it is going. Um, and I don't know when that's
And
going to happen.
also,
They don't know when it's gonna
and a-
happen. She challenged
and
them to a
another
unit
thing.
battle again. She did the all out battle promo again after three
Yeah,
weeks. So I don't know. They're gonna do it eventually,
but
possibly.
and another thing. I know I just made that joke, but legitimately, and another thing. There is no strong show anytime soon. When are we doing Azumi versus Momo? Or are we not doing that? Was that
I
just kind of
imagine
like
that's at a Corkin next month. They do have 2 of them, so you can run that at a
yeah.
Corkin. I saw
Yeah.
somebody mention B, and it must have been a joke because I thought they in promo were like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat you and beat B Priestley," but they didn't say that.
No, but
So it
that's
must have
what's
been a
that's
joke.
like okay, with hilariously they picked uh I'll give them this. I'm a fan of callbacks just generally and like making things kind of connect to the past. So I like, you know, effectively Azumi and Momo facing off to see who gets to defend the belt against B Priestley. Kind of funny, even though B Priestley hasn't challenged for the belt technically. Um because there's no strong shows for like 6 months. So it's like why would she? Um but yeah, like I prefer not to think about the strong belt, but
Yeah.
Momo Azumi does move me, even though I've seen it 20 times. It's always good, so I
Will
can't
it be
complain.
on All In? They do need a second women's match for All In. They like Momo.
You're not putting Azumi versus Momo on all.
Why not? They like both. Tony really likes Azumi. So
That would be a Ring of Honor. That would be a Death Before Dishonor show. Or no,
mm,
what's there?
I don't know.
Whatever that
They
show
need a
is.
second women's match, and he's not gonna book any of his
It's
women.
gonna be it's gonna
So
be Willow versus Shafir.
it's awful.
Yeah.
Why? Why would you do that?
Because
Anyway, I don't know.
that's the only women's feud that exists that is of
That's
note.
only because John Moxley has his nipples twisted to do what he wants.
Correct.
So-
And is apparently pregnant, I heard. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
also
no, John Moxley
a
was indeed
thing.
pregnant. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened to him.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully he's doing
Shouldn't
all
have
right.
wrestled in blood and guts like that. I don't know.
He wasn't in Blood and
Um,
Guts, that's a different match.
it's listen.
You're completely off. Let's just move on.
Um, yeah, there are 2 shows this weekend, but they are house shows, and we don't do those anymore.
Is there anything interesting on either of those shows that you like are circling?
Um,
Oh, are there cards? Are they in the news?
yeah, there is. They announced them. There's mostly just because I said BMI 2000 are split off a lot. Um, there's like previewed tags, but they are in the news section. They're not on the schedule. We're gonna try and check.
Yeah, no, I'm not seeing anything particularly inspired.
Yeah, like at a push, you could say Stars versus Natsupoi, Ano, and Hime is kind of good. They are doing a Suzu, Akira, Aya, and Kurara versus Neo Genesis. That could be fun.
Okay, let's move on.
Azumi Rana, Azusa is just a good good match. Siri and Lady C versus Sai and Momo. Momo and Siri kicking each other. Otherwise, yeah, you can see why we phased out house shows. So with that, we're done with Stardom, unless we've completely forgot something. But I don't think we have.
Did we mention that Ami is coming back? That is going to be our art.
Yeah, we previewed her match. So
Oh yeah, when we said
yeah,
we did say that.
we did.
Blanked on that. But
Yeah. And that is all. So it is on to Marigold, who had a quiet one themselves.
they had their retreat, so that
They
it's
did.
kind
The biggest news out of Marigold is they confirmed the dates for this year's Dreamstar GP. Thankfully, it is ending at Korakuen this year instead of some random theater in Nagoya. They're opening it in Osaka though again, so it's not the best.
which
I still
I
think
think could be fine. Like I think last year's was just kind of like them probably expecting a bigger house for that one.
yeah.
Like they probably booked that early on. It was like I think with how their attendance is going this year, that shouldn't be a problem. Starting in Osaka too. Like I think that should be
I
fine.
do I don't love the venue choices though, because they go Osaka, Hiroshima, Miyako, Sendai, Ichikawa, Shibuya, Arakawa, then Korakuen and Face. Like you have 5 shows there in a row in the sticks.
And then wait, and then Korakuen and Face, and then how many more shows
Oyama
before the finish?
and Mie, and then you finish. But like
That's not
half the
bad.
tournament is in rural towns. It's not
Yeah, but that's
fantastic.
kind of like that's old school. That's just kind of what they used to do for
Kind of.
these. And that's also like
I don't love it.
like that's what all Japan used to do. That's what New Japan does kind of. And
Yeah, I guess.
they used the tournament to do a lot of homecoming shows.
It's
So
like 3. Yeah.
that makes guessing tournament math a lot easier. Um,
Yeah.
because Go Chica's winning on a Go Chica return show. Um, but yeah,
There's 12 shows, so I assume they're doing blocks of 8 as well. And just for to point out, it starts on the 2nd of August and ends on the 14th of September. So you have what 12 shows across 6 weeks. It's not the worst thing in the world. Basically just every
it starts on
weekend.
the 2nd of August, you say?
Yeah, the 2nd of August.
So that means we're gonna be in hell.
Yeah, we're gonna have a crossover to the 2
Yeah,
tournaments for a while.
because the 5-star starts like what
About a
5
week
days earlier.
before.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
week. Yeah,
it's not gonna be
exactly a
fun.
week. Exactly a week.
But if they are blocks of 8 in the GP, they'll probably split the Dreamstar. That is, they'll probably split a lot of the matches.
Oh yeah,
up.
it'll be pretty chill relatively if they do eight person blocks because
I
like
just don't see how they do
12
10
shows.
because you only
Yeah,
have
no,
12
I don't
shows. I think
they
it'd be
aren't
more
doing 10.
dates. So it'll
Yeah,
be
I think
blocks
you
of
would
8.
literally
But
you well no you I mean you'd have to work them every day basically, and I don't
you
think they're
would.
gonna do that.
You're not running a 10 match show in Ichikawa with like half
Yeah,
your shit given away. You're just not gonna do it.
yeah. So yeah, it'll probably be 8 person blocks. um, which is fine. I know I talked about this with some friends. It's like uh, they could do 10-person blocks pretty easily, but also, and I don't know if this is like a like how well known this is, but I mean it's pretty well known that they book like just companies in Japan book venues super far out. So it's very
Mm.
possible that like this entire 5-star was booked as of December when they had 10 people healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And they're like, maybe we shouldn't do 20-person. Maybe that's a bad idea. And now it's like, you have Marvelous at your disposal. You have fucking, your roster's already like 28 people. So it's like, it's pretty healthy, and that's not even counting if they wanted to bring in foreigners or something like that. So, like, I imagine even if they wanted to do 10-person blocks, it was too late by the time they realized they could, which was probably
yeah,
a couple months ago, to add on dates like that.
I agree. All right. Well, that is the news. I don't think we forgot anything. I know it is photo book season, but I will avoid that like the plague. Um,
I
and they
won't.
don't. Well, they did announce the card for the Cork, and was that over the last week? We can
Yeah, yeah,
just
that was.
jump at that.
Wait, but the
Do you want?
Korkin is this week, isn't
Yeah,
it?
we're. Yes,
It's
maybe.
Tuesday. It's a week from today.
Yeah, okay, so preview it. All right, then. That's fine. So, we're going to review the one show. It's Marigold First Anniversary Series Burning Desire Day 3. This was in Shinjuku FACE and drew 412 fans. I think it's pretty good when you only do a Mayu defense on top against uh, an 0-6 Matsui. I don't
Dude.
it's a pretty respectable number.
Oh man,
Um,
Matsui
yeah,
is going through it. She is
she is.
Sisyphus.
We started with Arina Yamanaka beating Ryoko Sakamura in 6 minutes. I thought this was fine.
Could have been
Arena
worse.
really, yeah, Arena really showed her value. She literally had to physically move Ryoko into position for some spots, and I was like, this is crazy. Um, but Arena kind of handled it a lot better than I think some people would have.
Yeah, I mean, if this was Ryoko of a couple months ago, this would have been a good match. Not
Yeah,
great, but it would have been a
dude,
good
you run
match.
this in February, and we're having a heater.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. We talk about it every week. I don't know what's really been going on with Ryoko. Um, Hopefully she finds it again, but we'll see. Arena, yeah, like you said, a very valuable player, and we'll talk about how she has a big match coming up at the Corkin, obviously,
Oh
that
yeah,
I know I'm excited for. But yeah,
yeah.
it was fine.
Koki and Kazuna Tanaka beat Hummingbird and Nagisa Tajibana in 8.5 minutes. This seems to be the B team for Koki going forward, as
Yeah,
her and Kiz. And I thought this was a good match. Hummingbird and Koki, I thought, had some fun stuff. And yeah, just it was good.
yeah. I Hummingbird
What
got Koki in the bird trap.
she did, of
Um, yeah, I tweeted that, and I was pumped. Um,
course you were.
yeah, no, I thought it was a solid match. Kazuna continues to impress. All these wrestlers, all four of them, continue to impress in their own ways. Koki coming off the injury is looking better now than she was first week. Kazuna coming off the injury is looking very good. Nagisa Tachibana coming off the injury is looking really. All four of these wrestlers were hurt in like February, and all of them are making strides now, which is very positive for the company.
Definitely. We then went on to Chikugoto, Miku, Iono, and Yuki Minami beating Chiaki, Megaton, and Nagisa Nozaki in 12 minutes. I think I said at the time this is one of my favorite Darkness Revolution tags in a while.
Mm,
Like
it was
Nozaki
good.
clearly loved working with Iono. She was really trying for the first time in a while with Iono. It was so clear. And I thought
That's the thing
Chiaki
about
looked really
like
good throughout the match, like like
yeah.
scary good. Like Chiaki just hit the switch, and it was really nice to see.
Yeah, I feel like people underrate Darkness Revolution sometimes because they do kind of get in like they have a formula and they kind of stick to it a lot of the time. But within that formula, I think they all do their job quite well. Um, like Nozaki's gonna have a great 5-star or Dream Star. That's my hot take, is that she's gonna care about at least half the matches, and those matches will be good. Um, And yeah, I mean Chiaki's very good. I hope she's in the Dream Star, obviously, but we'll talk about that when it gets closer. I really like this match. I think Chiku Goto. I praise her every week, but she has become such an integral part of this roster. Um, every match she's in is usually a good one, at least a solid one, and she always contributes to that. So I was a fan of this match. I thought Megaton was funny. I thought Megaton was over. I liked the Megaton dynamic here, and I am kind of worried about them taking Megaton out of Darkness Revolution. That seems like
Yeah,
where they might be going, but also might not be, judging by like what the Korakuen's looking like. But we'll see with that. Um, yeah, no, I was a fan of this match. Miku's obviously really good. Miku does the passionate violence, the passionate violence party. That's
it
terrible to say
does.
out loud.
There
Say
was a
that three
few
times fast.
nice shouts out on the show.
Yeah,
And I
but
didn't
yeah,
get to
I appreciate it.
mention this last week. I did hear it on commentary, but nobody translated it. Miku Ono is now referred to as the woman who delivered the final blow to Nanae Takahashi. That's her nickname. So they're really running with that. But
He's
yeah,
good.
that's a really good tag match. And as you said, afterwards they put a promo on Megaton because she lost and was like, "Next time you fuck up, you're out." Which Megaton had kind of said already, but now they said it in
Well, not
ring.
even next time you fuck up, but it's more like a the Korakuen's your last shot.
Yeah,
So
because
I
she is
think I think
teaming
there's
with Nozaki, I think, on the house show loop, but I imagine
yeah
it means, oh, when we're all together again, you
yeah,
can't
and I
lose.
think there is potential for Megaton to just win and
Mhm.
keep going. She could beat like Ryoko, since that's like I think Ryoko's off the card. Because so the thing is, I'm pretty sure they are waiting to see like. Actually, I don't know why they haven't announced the Darkest Revolution match for the
I don't
Korakuen,
know either. I don't
because
think they have enough healthy roster members
well, the thing
because,
is that now is out. Like she
yeah,
has like
now Charles is
a
gone for a
like
while.
she has a health problem like that will take longer than a week. Um, so it's not like they're waiting on
Suzuki
Gigaton.
just did rehab, I think, didn't she? She just started.
Shizuki did just start rehab, but also like it's a different like she was at the photo book shoots, so it's not like
Right,
she's
of
like
course.
okay, calm down. It's not like she's completely out of action, like it's not like she's like deathly out of action sort of thing.
Yeah,
So we'll see there, but yeah, I don't really know what's the move there, because you would think they would just run them against rookies, but I imagine rookies and Koki, I guess. But yeah, so we'll see with Megaton in this story. I think it is like, if you win at Korakuen, it'll be fine. If you lose at Korakuen, we have problems. You're kicked out, and I can see it going either way, and we'll talk
yeah.
about it in a few minutes. But yeah, well, I'm not sure.
All right. We then had Seri Amioka and Victoria Yuzuki going to a 15-minute time limit draw. And not even just that, Seri was like clearly on top as the draw rang out. Like she was most likely to win. So they fully just went, nah, screw you, Yuzuki. And it was a good match. I think they definitely have a better one in them. There was some like really sloppy parts. But overall, I think they have a really interesting dynamic that can only get better.
Yeah,
But I am slightly head scratching about the booking of Seri. There's just no. There's like two people who are presented as obstacles to her, and the rest she's like, nah, don't even care. Like she just drew with Yuzuki. Like Yuzuki of all people should be somebody who's like, no, you're not better than me. I jumped here. I found it here. Like I'm gonna beat you, but they don't seem
I don't know.
interested.
Yeah, but also no. Like I don't know. I think you underestimate the top level of the company, because obviously like she's not gonna beat Mayu, she's not gonna beat Utami, she's not gonna beat
Those
Mirai
are the two.
anytime soon.
I
Mirai.
feel like Mariah, she was fairly even with though.
She
Has
was even
been.
with until Mirai beat the fuck out of her and won.
Even still, I don't think it's anywhere similar to how Utami and Mayu treat her.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. She is also a super rookie, so that's kind of just what they're going with. I mean,
Yeah.
Utami beat
No,
Tam
I think in
Nakano
the
in her
long term
second match.
it's gonna hurt you because Utami ended up with like nothing until she magicked a 5.5 star match with Suri out of the air, and they went, "Oh, you can feud with Suri," but Seri will not have Suri to pull a 5.5 star match out of the air with. So
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I fully agree with you. Like I think Sari has enough obstacles in her path. Uh and I do agree that frankly, I expect Izuka to beat her in in the Dreamstar.
You should. Yes.
Like I think that's what's probably going to happen. Um because losses in the dreams in like the round robins mean a tiny bit less. Uh so like you can do that pretty easily while still that being like, oh, Sari hasn't beat Izuki yet type of thing. Um so I agree. Like I would have liked Izuki to win here, but I also get it. You know what I mean? Um keeping them even is probably for the best. But yeah, I'm not as like, sky is falling about Sari being positioned so well.
Sky is falling. I know where we're gonna be in 18 months when she's got nothing
Yeah, all
going
right,
other
Chicken
than
Little.
I
You
am
keep
red belt
you keep
champion.
talking, bud. You keep talking, Chicken Little. Come on.
All right, whatever. But yeah, it was a good match. Yuzuki, I think, will definitely be better if they wrestle again. I thought it was one of those weird days for Yuzuki. She
Yeah,
almost died just diving to the outside, so
I
that tells
agree.
you enough.
I felt like yeah, Yuzuki wasn't in like a peak form. Uh
No,
Especially in like the second half of the match, I felt like she kind of petered out, which is like not rare for Yuzuki. Yuzuki has done that before. We look at the Shozuki match from last year, the first
mm,
one, not the great one that followed it. Um, she sometimes kind of peters out in these 15-minute time limit draws, but other times she like really locks in and clicks with it. Nanai wasn't a time limit draw, but it went up to like what was it 20-minute time limit. It went up to like 1950 or
19,
something like
yeah.
that. So it's like she's sometimes Izuki really like keeps going and like has a great final, burst of energy for those longer matches, but sometimes it just kind of peters out. Felt like that was the case here. But I love the grappling early. I felt like they both did a great job with that. And as messy as it was, I did still really like it. And I expect this to be I think there's so much to grow on from here, which is what you kind of want from a first time match like this.
All right. I will agree. We then went on to Chanyota, Komomo Minami, and Mai Sakurai beating Mirai, Rei Seto, and Utami Hayashishita in 13 minutes. I think Chanyota won for her team over
Yes.
Rhea. Yeah.
With the with
Um,
the with the jackhammer.
Jackhammer. I remember now. And it was a very good match. Mai Sakurai and Mirai really hard carried. They just did a sequence that made me go, "Oh, they're gonna run this for the white belt." Like it was that intense that I went, "All right, Mirai is taking the white belt then." 'Cause they don't usually do that. Like I've seen Mai in tags, and she usually does her shit, but this time she was like, "No, we're previewing a big match mode." Um, and then obviously Utami and Chanyota ran at each other briefly, and I was like, "Give me more! I am thriving." So yeah, there was a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, I quite liked it. I'm a big fan of Chan Yoda, as many know. I think she has like that like that burst of energy type of offense that you really appreciate,
Mm.
and I thought that was on display here to some degree. I thought Utami, Mariah, and Rei Seto were just such a great team together.
Oh,
Such a
them all hitting the JoJo pose
the
was so fun.
JoJo poses. I mean,
Utami post Nanai is so just loving life.
which is fun. Like I don't know. Like I mean, I guess Utami's what the second most tenured wrestler of the crowd. I mean, I think
Yes.
no, Miku started like a month before her
Oh,
with the
Shizuki as
company.
well, obviously,
Well,
but
yeah, well,
she kind of doesn't
Shozuki
count.
didn't come back until recently. So
Yeah.
like straight time. She like point being, Utami's like one of the she doesn't have many seniors in the company right now. So she might have been able to let loose a bit more, but I just thought that the three of them together was so much fun. Mirai, stretching Komomo into a pretzel, and Rhea and Utami both posing. Like no, yeah, Rhea like got a headlock on her, and then Utami just starts posing, muscle posing, and like being like, yeah, fuck you, Chan Yoda, I can pose too. I'm buff. Look at this. I was like, that's lovely. I love that. Utami loves wrestling Chan Yoda, which is great.
Yeah.
Like I love both of them, and they work well together, and they seem to really like wrestling each other, so it's a lot of fun. And yeah, like you said, Mariah and Mai Sakurai, a lot of fun as well. So I had a good time with this match for sure. Um, this is
Yeah.
why I love having no factions. This match
All right.
specifically,
Don't. We're not. We're not.
I'm just saying.
After the match, Tanyoda and my Sakurai officially challenged for the Twin Star, which means we went 1 for 3 in predictions last week. Technically 1.5, because we are getting a Takumi Utami preview tag. It was just Mayu who asked for it instead. But we did
I mean,
call them.
my dark horse pick of having Yuzuki challenge Utami was super duper wrong.
Yes.
But you
You
know,
almost got the Kazuna one right because you were like, "Hey, Kazuna might win," and then challenge Mayu, and I thought you were onto something, but nah, Mayu was busy.
it was just
Don't know.
maybe. I think the winner. We'll talk about
Okay. We then had the main event, the Marigold Superfly Championship. Mayu Iwatani defended against Bisa Matsui in 13 minutes. Mayu is approaching energy changes in the room levels.
it. Well, I
Like
mean, half
the
the roster's already said that.
yeah, but the crowd was good for this show. You know, they were into Megaton, they were into some of the Seri Yuzuki stuff, they were into some of the stuff from the previous match. They were just so excited as soon as Mayu entered the building and for the start of this match. She just really is like the switch flipping for the audience. Like it is so weird to see in real time the crowd go from good to like super hot for Mayu. And she's definitely getting close to being a wrestler who just walks into the building and the entire vibe changes. Because she just means that much to Marigold already. And I thought that kicked off this match really well, and they kept it going. Mayu did fucking high speed sequences. I haven't seen her do this shit in years. We're talking pre-COVID. Some of this, like she was
Yeah.
loving life here against Matsui, and we all know Misa is talented. We all know what she can do. So this is obviously a very, very
Well,
good match.
well, the thing is that the only person Mayu would the only person Mayu would engage in high speed sequences against was Izumi. Pretty much, like she didn't even do that with like Kid or anything. It's like she's like Izumi gets it. I'll do it with her. And yeah, it's like her kind of being like, yeah, we can go fly high speed with Misa is kind of a sign that she believes in Misa. And she said it after the match. She's like, how the fuck do people not recognize that Misa Matsui is one of the best in the world? Which is
Hmm.
based. Shout out to Mayu has good taste. Because yeah, this match was damn near great. I really liked it. Lower than some people, notably lower than Mayu fan numero uno, Scotty Wrestling. Um,
I don't think he
I'm a
watches
bit.
matches. I think he just puts five
I
on
think he
his
just
sheet for her every
experienced.
time.
No, trust me, he watches them, but he just like it's like he you know begins to
He's having
levitate
a
and just
religious
like
moment.
yeah, he's having an out of body experience while he's watching it. So it's like it's a bit unfair, but I did think this was really really fucking good. I really liked it. Could have gone a couple extra minutes. That's the one thing about the Superfly belt is that I wish they pushed the time limit a bit more. Um, not like hit the time limit, but like it became more of like there was more of a frantic pace to get to the finish a bit
Yeah.
more. I guess you don't need that here. But I think this match warranted it more than the Yuzuki match, for example. Uh, this one warranted maybe getting up to like the 13, 14 type mark. How long did
Wow.
it go? Do you have that on hand?
13.
It went 13?
13 in 1 second.
Oh, well, I guess a extra minute. Damn, I thought it went like I don't know 11 or something.
No. Just felt well. Maybe Cage Match is wrong. They do sometimes have Marigold incorrect, but
I don't know.
uh,
It felt a bit shorter, like 11. Yeah, it felt like it could have gone an extra minute, but that's neither here nor there. I thought it was really good. Uh, Misa, my beloved psycho speedrunner, who who will catch up to Momo Watanabe one of these days.
yes. Yeah, that was the show. The only show
Well,
they had this past week.
Jungle Kiona, because at least Momo's won a belt before.
After this match, Mai Utani said, "Hey, Takumi
Where
Roha,
is
I want to
Jungle
wrestle
Kiona?
you. I want to get involved in the Marvelous War. Let's have a fight." And I was like, "This is it. This is my moment." And so we will preview that. We do have to preview first. There are 2 house shows this weekend. We're just gonna blaze through these because we obviously want to focus on the Korakuen. So on the 14th of June, in the Osaka 176 box, Yuka Yamazaki makes her debut against Mirai. Yuka is Mirai's like bestie, I guess, for the time being. They're teaming
Yuka
on the
Yuka
Korakuen.
is Mirai's psychotic child.
Yeah, she is giving such Darkness Revolution energy, which is really funny because Mariah clearly sees her as like she's mine, she's my protege. Um, but she should be in
Well,
Darkness Revolution. She literally looks like she wants to beat everybody with a hammer. So
bro, something that was funny at the press conference about the Korakuen was that she could go like you could just like fucking like slap the shit out of Yuki Minami, and Chikugo is like, "Can you control your child?" And Mariah's like, "You're a senior too. You could control whoever the fuck you want." She's like, "I, I mean, Yuki behaves herself." it's, it's like yeah. I don't. Mariah's like, "Yeah, Yuki does whatever the fuck she wants. She's crazy, bro. She's crazy. She'll kill you. She's
yeah,
my homie." So yeah, I mean,
that's
I'm
pretty
excited to
beast.
see what I'm excited to see what that translates to in ring. Her gear is purple, so yeah, Darkest Revolution feels like an obvious pick.
New leader. That's it.
Yeah,
I'm already bought in. We then have Kazuna Tanaka versus Nagisa Tachibana versus Ryoko Sakamura. It's probably a win for Kiz.
yeah.
We have the obligatory Flying Penguin match when her and Hummingbird team up to take on Chiaki and Misumatsui.
Two
That'll be
birds, two birds, one stone. Chiaki and Misa in 5. Let's go.
all right. Um,
In 5 minutes.
Utami and
That's
Koki.
that's what that's what.
All right, okay. Utami and Koki versus Chikigoto and Yuki Minami. Um, Side piece army here. The Utami's team is going to win.
Yeah,
Uh, Mayu and Yuzuki take on Megaton and Nagisa and Ozaki. Is this Mayu's
Mayu
first time
Megaton.
facing Megaton? That's
Yeah,
incredible. All right,
that's
our
what
main event is
I wonder if she likes her.
yeah,
Because I said this before that like Mayu either is like, what the fuck is this chick doing, or she's like, this is the greatest wrestler I've ever seen. I love
yeah.
her. Like there's
I
no in
think she'll
between.
love it. I think she'll
Yeah,
enjoy
I
it.
think she'll probably really enjoy wrestling Megaton.
Our main event looks sick. It is Seiri Yamaoka, Mai Sakurai, and Shino
Hey,
versus Miko
Shino.
Aono, Rei Seto, and Komomo Minami. That is crazy good. Um,
Yeah,
that is probably a win for Mai Sakurai's team. They're probably gonna have Shino and
yes,
Seiri go over. Yeah,
yeah.
so that's fun.
Unless
Um,
Miku beats Shino, there's yeah,
she could.
that's the only combo that's possible really
Yeah.
for their team
Um,
at least.
we then on the 15th in the Fujisan Messe have Yuka Yamazaki versus Ryoko Sakamura. We're just not going to
Mm,
talk about it. Oh my.
gonna have to talk about
Seri Yamaoka takes on Megaton. Incredible. Rei Sato and Komomo Minami, who appear to be a team now forever, they take on Yuki Minami and Nagisa Tachibana.
Well,
I
they're the
actually,
we talk about the core four. They're the two that like are on the outside, you know,
yeah,
but they're also based. So
that's true. They are
um,
based.
unfortunately for the Gravure girls, they are no match for the core four plus two.
Okay. Koki takes on Hummingbird.
Mm,
That could be
we'll see.
bad. I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
could be
It's
bad,
gonna
but
be
it could be
weird.
good.
Good. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Um,
I will watch that with great interest.
okay. Victoria Yuzuki, Mirai, and Kazuna Tanaka take on Chiaki, Nagisa Nozaki, and Misa Matsui.
Good.
That could go either way. Darkness Rev maybe cheats. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, it
we
depends.
then
This could go to a draw.
it
I think
could
this is the match that could go to a draw
definitely.
because I still think Kazuna's probably next up for Mayu. So I don't think they'd want to pin her here. But if I'm
True.
wrong on that, then she could just take the fall.
All right. Speaking of Mayu, she's in our main event. She teams with Mai Sakurai and Chan Yota to take on
Mm,
Utami Hashishita, Miko
mm,
Aono, and
mm,
Chika
damn!
Goto.
Like
These
this
main
match is
events are
fucking good. Damn!
crazy.
Like this is a really good main. Oh
Yeah,
man.
no, these Marigold main events always deliver, I must say. Um, I don't know which way that's gonna go, but hell, I'm here for it. Now,
Uh, over Chica, unfortunately.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Um, we then go on to the big one, the Marigold at Korakuen Hall. This is on the 17th of June. We start with Victoria Yuzuki and Kazuna Tanaka versus Rei Sato and Komomo Minami. So you would have Yuzuki and Kiz go over there, presumably.
I would have Kazuna win. and challenge Mayu.
Yeah. All right.
Because
Mirai and
well, let me kind of preface this. Whoever wins the pinfall here, because I don't think Izuki does, is challenging Mayu next. I think that's kind of more so where I'm at.
all
So if
right.
like Rhea gets an upset or Kamama gets an upset over Kazuna, they could challenge next. But
Yeah,
I'm kind of thinking Kazuna is next up.
I like it. Okay. Mirai and Yuka Yamazaki take on Chika Goto and Yuki Minami. I could see Goto over Yamazaki depending on how much they protect her.
Hmm. I could see that. Yeah, that's probably a good shout.
Yeah,
But yeah, we'll see how they like Yamazaki. Two
sure.
U's.
Yep.
2 years. Interesting.
Yuka. Yeah. Um, Miku Aono takes on Arina Yamanaka. This could be an absolute slobber knocker. This
I,
could like steal the show.
wow, you got a slobber. That might be the first time that slobberknocker was used in a just traditional like vocab word sense on this podcast. 250 episodes might be the first time.
Shouts
And
out
I
Jim
agree.
Ross. You know?
Yeah, shout out. Hope he's doing well. I'll love to him. But yeah, no, this should be really good. Like I think I think stylistically this could really work. Like I think Miku and her style, especially like her Korakuen style, which is a different level than her big match style, so to speak, can really like kind of like take away Arena's weapons, and I think that's a really cool way to kind of work it. Um, they're both really smart wrestlers, really smart, just like fun to watch wrestlers. So I'm excited to see how they work this one because it could be a lot of fun.
For sure. And they obviously maybe would have crossed paths in Actress. I don't know. I know Irina did work there a little bit, but I don't know if she would have been in main events with Iono. I could
Yeah,
probably
I
check.
don't. I'm checking. Don't worry, I got
All
you.
right, okay. I was gonna check Cage Match, but it's been very slow today. I think
Yeah,
they're
Cage
having
Match
problems
says
with that Cage Match.
service unavailable. So yeah, the server
Yeah,
is
you
down for
kind of
Cage
have to
Match.
go
Oh,
once or
wait, I
twice.
got it, I got it. Oh, maybe I might got it. I
You might got it. Yes. Oh yeah,
I
they had
got
a
it.
match. Arena and Koki versus Iono and Ren-san back in
Hmm,
January
yeah, that
of
did happen.
2024. So they have shared a ring for as opponents. So yeah, I'm sure they'll have some sort of chemistry. I feel like I saw that one because I was very big into
They also obviously
Arena
have teamed
and
together
Miku.
in Marigold.
Yeah, I definitely would have seen that because I was definitely big into Koki at that kind of point in time and
I
Arena.
also love the fact that every single press conference Arena does, she's always like, "Okay, if I win, you gotta pay for you gotta pay for yoga lessons, man. I'm trying to get my money up."
It was
It's
so
like,
funny because Miku Iono was like, "I do yoga. Look at me pose," and Arena like balanced on her neck for a little bit on the
she's
table,
like,
and it was
"Okay,
like, "Oh,
I don't do
all right,
that.
yeah,
Like, I
no,
don't."
yeah." It's like, okay, you win, homie. All right.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
no, that will be very interesting. I think they could have a really good match. Um, Star Championship. Riko Kawahata and Maria take on Mai Sakurai and Chan Yota. They're not going to belt up the unsigned Chan Yota, I don't think. So
You
I
say
imagine,
as the tag belts are on two marvelous wrestlers who don't work in the
yeah,
company.
but it's a partnership. It's not. They don't have a partnership with
Brother
PPP.
Chan Yoda, I'm
It's
not saying
different
they're gonna
though.
win.
You know how Rossi operates, but
Marvelous is winning. Wait,
yeah.
no. With the tag belt specifically, I don't think that matters at all. But
Um,
if this
yeah.
was a V2, maybe a V3, maybe. But yeah, I mean, we're keeping
The
this all
more
stars.
important part, I
Magenta.
imagine whoever wins challenges Mai. I think it could be Maria. They built Maria up fairly well in that first gauntlet, so I think they could do Maria Mai fairly easily.
Yeah, I could see either of them challenge my. That would be cool. I would prefer Rico because I'm a bigger Rico fan. But
Yeah.
either one would work, I think. I think Maria and Mai Sakurai might work better stylistically. Um,
Yeah.
because they
Although
both kind of good,
Rico
fun
and Mai
attitude.
would have the actress
Yeah,
kind
and
of thing.
I mean, Rico is just more like she's better at acclimating to different wrestlers.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that her versus Mai would not work, but I think Maria and Mai Sakurai have pretty much the same style. Um, so I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I would love that. I would love if Magenta won here, and then one of them challenged Sakurai.
Right.
That'd probably be ideal because we do
Yeah.
need to do something with the white belt like that. As
Yeah, we
we
gotta
we're
keep.
giving we're giving We're giving Star Alarm shit for not really doing anything with their belts, but I would like a bit of direction for my Sakurai since she didn't get to defend the belt at Shine Forever. We got to do something with her. Like I think
Yeah,
this shows when you got to do it.
I agree. Our main event then, and so currently the full card isn't announced. As we said, Darkness Revolution's match isn't announced at all. Koki isn't on the show. Hummingbird isn't on the show. Ryoko,
Ryoko and
Tachibana.
Nagisa aren't on the show.
So it could be a 4-on-4, and they're just waiting
Yeah,
for some reason to announce that
yeah.
four on
That
four. Maybe they want to see if everybody's available.
they might want to do a
Um,
5-on-5, and that's why they're waiting on like Gigaton and like Shizuki. But
but
I
now
again,
now Ishikawa isn't
now's
working.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she has like
Yeah, Marigold didn't say it, but Tokyo Sports, I think, put out a
well no
report that she
she
has cysts. She
now
herself said
now
she has
has
cysts.
a
Oh, it's a
blog.
column. All right, yeah,
Yeah, she has a column, and she is in the hospital for an ovarian cyst. It's a
yeah,
big one
which
too.
yeah,
So
it's not fun.
it's yeah. So I can't imagine she's gonna be healthy in time for this.
Yeah.
And if she is, she probably still shouldn't wrestle on it. It's 7 days away. Like stay home,
Hmm.
recuperate. So yeah, I'm not sure why they would be waiting, but because there is the match right there. But maybe
Maybe it's
they
the two of them aren't available because Ryoko and Tachibana do idols shows,
hmm, yeah,
so
maybe
maybe
they
they're
are just
trying to
trying to
get them.
find like you know
Either way, there will be more matches added to this. This is not a like
probably
five
one
match card.
match added,
Just
but
one,
yeah,
but they'll have to wait and see. Now, our main event, as of now, and probably going to stay the main event,
it's
Marigold versus Marvelous.
yeah.
Takumi Iroha, Senka Akatsuki, and Sora Ayame take on Mayu Utani, Utami Hayashishita, and Seri Yamaoka.
Marigold finally
Um,
gets a win over two. Well, they won it the one time, but finally gets another win, or a big win.
oh, you think Marigold is going to win?
Yeah,
Dude, no. I think they do Iroha over Seri again.
Sora is in the match. She doesn't win.
Yeah, but if they're
She
gonna
did
do
beat Magenta that one
Utami,
time, but still,
yeah,
otherwise she
but
doesn't
like
win.
if they're gonna do Utami Takumi for the red belts, surely Takumi would win here and be like, "Give me my title shot now. I beat three of your best. Give me my belt."
Yeah, I don't know. I think they just go over Sora.
I mean, it's either Mayu over Sora or Aroha over Seri. I think those are the two.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they should beat Utami, even though Takumi over Utami would make sense. I don't think they should do it.
See, they did that.
Um,
I don't think they should do that all the time. They did that with Mirai.
I
I think
agree.
we gotta do it.
Frankly, I would say that that Takumi over Utami makes more sense than Mirai over Utami did. Uh, just from like Takumi's this dominant force. Um,
Hmm.
but I also think that them over Sora, if we're looking at it a bit more 50-50, would lend to the idea that Takumi might be beating Utami.
That's true. That's true.
Like
Um,
just from a back and forth type of angle.
yeah.
Because if Takumi looks too dominant, then Utami has to prevail. Not doesn't have to, but I think it's more likely she does. Um, because Takumi has so much. Theoretically,
Oh,
if Takumi were to
that
win,
makes sense.
hmm?
I just realized I had the noise suppression on Discord because the new laptop didn't have it off. So
Oh, that's why the thing is.
yeah, that makes sense because the noise suppression just makes you delay and shit. So I was like, why is it so delayed? Like it's a new computer. But now, yeah, it's my fault. All right,
Love
I
that.
probably sound better
Um,
as well.
yeah, a little bit. But yeah, basically, I think like if Takumi is beating Utami, she has months to be dominant, before dropping the belt. So I think this is a way to kind of like get a bit of a shot in the armor against Marvelous, who are like 6-2 against Marigold. Like let's not
That's
forget.
true. Most of
Um,
those are Takumi though, and
yeah.
Magenta cheating ones. So
So I
um,
think ultimately Mayu over Sora keep Utami and Takumi out of the finish, but have them go at it a lot, and then Takumi be like, "Yeah, I'm ready for you, Tommy. Mayu,
all right.
you can go for now."
Yeah,
I
they're
think I
clearly
think
saving that.
I think Mayu probably beats Takumi for the GHC uh
Ooh.
probably in October when they do the the season
Whoa.
of
You think
GHC.
you think we're double belting
Oh, not
Mayu?
October, not October, not October. Wait, yeah, October. Yeah. Maybe it's the GHC.
Wow. Well, that's a big
She could
call.
also
All
lose the
right.
Superfly by then.
Possibly.
But
That would
yeah,
be
I
two
think
for Grand Slam straight away.
I think by the
Well, I don't know if you
time
count this for the Grand Slam.
we get to the next season of Monday Magic, I think that's when Mayu's going to be coming and knocking at Takumi's
Right.
door.
Well,
Which
I'm
might be
very
December. I don't know
interested
if
to
they
see how
announced
this
it yet.
goes. It's good to have extra star power in the full.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about like we get to see Sarah versus Senka again. Mayu versus if anybody didn't see the press conference, it was a great time. Sora said, Mayu, as somebody who only knows about Marvelous and Marigold, you're effectively a rookie. You just showed up. So I'm gonna beat you. And Maya's like, does she know? Does she know who I am? Oh, that was very funny. And also, Senka seemingly forgetting both Utami's name and her catchphrase and just calling her the red belt.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because she was like, I'm gonna face Yamaoka, the icon of women's wrestling, and the red belt. And I'm going to, and then everybody was just like, what the fuck did you say? Great times. Great times were had by all. I think this match should be really, really good though.
I agree. I mean, it's gonna main event, so they're gonna have a lot to live up to. But I think Mayu, Utami, Senka, and Takumi are more than enough to deliver a strong match there.
And also
So
looking forward to the Dream Star for a second. Senka has to be in, right?
I hope
Like
so.
I feel like Senka is the singular marvelous lock
I think if
because
Mio isn't healthy, then yes, you
I
go with
yeah,
Senka.
I'm getting to the point where it's like they have to announce the Dream Star in like the next few weeks, I guess.
Um, they might do the lineup here and then the blocks next time because did I forget because obviously we had the Bushiroad years, but I do think Rossi used to do the slow rollout.
That's true.
'Cause
I'm also
when's the
trying to
next
remember when's
Korakuen?
the next Korakuen. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to check. The 16th of July. So
16th of
probably not. They
July.
probably wouldn't wait that long. They might do the lineups on the 12th in first ring, and then the blocks on the 16th in Korakuen.
Yeah, but the thing is, they like putting the lineups on the screen, don't they? What did they do last year? I don't know. This is we're this is
I think they did
probably
all Twitter last year. I literally think they just announced everything randomly after a show.
that's very
Because I
possible.
do recall us both being like, "Why did you not do that on screen?" Um, so yeah, but Shinkiba doesn't have a screen, does it? Unless you set it up.
No.
Does Sari not? No, Sari doesn't run first ring. I don't know. Either way, I think they'll do a slow rollout of the GP stuff. So they might do the lineup here and then the blocks next month, or they'll do like the lineup with X's and then the full block in the next Korkin. So who knows? But we shall see.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this shit out, man. Well, because
You can figure
the
it out off there. It'll be fine.
yeah, the Dream Star happened at a different like time last
Yeah,
year.
it did. It did. So
Happened.
we just ask Scott. He probably remembers how it happened.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's possible we get the point being. That was just a major sidetrack. Point being, I imagine they have to announce the lineups soon, and considering Mio still isn't back for Marvelous, I don't think she'll be in it, unfortunately.
I
Um,
agree.
I think if she came back like 2 weeks ago, and they're announcing the lineup in the next few weeks, sure. But considering she's not back for Marvelous yet, I don't expect to see her name in the tournament, unfortunately.
Same.
So yeah, I
Same.
think I think Senka is both the most interesting and the most likely person to be in it because she can lose basically every single match.
She can, but I don't know if you give
She
if
shouldn't.
you're only doing blocks of 8. I don't know if you give a marvelous wrestler 2 of them. So
Well, I also don't know if Takumi's going to be in because Takumi is a fucking political nightmare. She might go to the final though. If Takumi's in, I think Takumi probably gets to the final, even if she has
yeah,
already beaten
I
Utami.
don't know.
or lost to Utami rather.
She could.
But yeah, we'll see. I still think that Senka is the biggest lock for the tournament though. That isn't in Marigold. Well, outside like Chan Yoda, who I hope is a lock, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see.
All right. But that is that show for the week. We will be back next week to review the Korakuen for Marigold. I don't know what we're going to do about the house shows. I know we usually review Marigold house shows, but there's 3 shows and there's a big Stardom pay-per-view, so we'll discuss it. But we will, of course, review the Korakuen. It's happening the day of, so, it should be easy enough. And then we will review the conversion in full and get to dive into that and offer our predictions for what's going to happen, because I do think it could be a big pay-per-view in terms of switches for the belts, and maybe some stuff if they actually set it up, but who knows. With that, it's time to close the show for this week, unless Dylan has any closing remarks.
Yeah, I still can't find shit about the Dream Star last year on their YouTube. I think they just completely didn't.
Yeah, they definitely did it on Twitter.
They just
I
like went.
fully remember there being no video.
I know, but I thought there would have been like a video, but it might have been on Wrestling Universe. I don't know, but yeah, it was just
I have no
the
idea.
YouTube has zero. Like the Dream Star did not happen effectively last year, according to
Have you searched
their YouTube.
GP?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right. Well,
Well, no,
that's
I
all you
I
can
looked up Dream Star. Oh yeah, okay. I found it. I
hope it's
apologize. It was streamed on August 20th, 2024. When the fuck did this show? When did the tournament start?
it
Last
was
year.
definitely like late August, 30th maybe. Because I remember I was in Dublin when we recorded that preview. That would have been around August.
So 10 days prior. 10 days prior was when they announced the. Is this the first show? Or is this the? Yeah, the block
Surely
show.
that was just the conference though, not the actual stuff.
Oh yeah, you're right. Maybe.
Yeah. We'll see though. It's fine. We'll know soon enough what's happening.
Hopefully, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, it is time to close the show. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
Shine forever, Stardom Quest, Gold Dope, Passion.
Ijo.
Misha.